I've slept on it, I've thought about it, and maybe I was wrong. Nah, this is still the greatest football or sports final that I've ever seen. Let's unpack. So look, man, I hardly slept. I was online on Twitter, on Instagram, speaking to my friends. I sent a congratulations message to my former Senegalese work colleague and everything. Shout out to my man Samba. Online, looking at what Moroccans are saying, Senegalese are saying. This is the greatest final I've seen. Now, people will say, oh my gosh, reactionary. The greatest final was, of course, Argentina against France. And you have to understand what a great final is. So, first of all, because there's so much stuff to unpack, but let me just clear this whole of greatest final. The Argentina-France final only became great around the 70th minute. People actually forget the game. From the 70th minute on, then it was crazy when Mbappe equalized. Before the 70th minute, Argentina were dog walking France for that game. It was an Argentina training session. It was so bad, Deschamps had to bring off two of his key players in Giroud and Griezmann. So it wasn't a contest. For about 70 minutes, it was not a contest. There was only one team playing. Then once Mbappe now made it 2-2, then it became one of the craziest games of all time. But when you just look, so from the 70th minute on, it was arguably one of the greatest games ever. It is the greatest World Cup final ever, 100%. This is the greatest World Cup final ever. That's a fact. But the greatest final ever, you have to, if it's the greatest final, you have to take the whole thing into account. For 70 minutes, there was only one team playing. The thing about this game was, before that disallowed Senegalese goal, that was a very good final. You see, you have to understand what football is. Finals by nature are not good football matches. It's the biggest game, huge amount of nerves. The players are scared about making a mistake. So most finals are naturally cagey. But if you watch the game, in terms of just the quality of football, how absorbing the game was, how Senegal were taking the game to Morocco, how Morocco were now trying to take the game to Senegal, just in terms of a footballing final, is actually one of the better football finals. I can name on one hand. No, forget that. The other final that I can say that was as good as it's just from a pure footballing perspective was Bayern against PSG, the 2020 UCL final, in terms of just like good football being played. Most finals are just not good football matches. So before that goal was disallowed, it was a good game, a really good game. Then things happened. And the things that happened added to the greatness, because I'm sorry, you can't name me another sports final. Forget football. You can't name me another sports final that has as much drama, storyline, and crazy things that happened like this. This is something that's going to be talked about for a long time. Brahim Diaz's penalty and what Senegal did will be talked about for years. In 20, 30 years' time, people will look back at this game of like the amount of things that unfolded, and I will get into the things that have unfolded. Even before that, I think it's Jacobs, Senegalese player, he says that there are things that we don't know that are going to come out. So we don't even know the full story. The story being given is already crazy, but Jacob said there's even stuff that happened before that was crazy. So for me, I have never seen a final like this in terms of, and also how good the final was from a footballing perspective, the things that happened, the drama that ensued, and Papa Gay's amazing goal to cap it off. I'm sorry. You can't name me a better final than this. You can't. If you disagree, fine, but I stand on it. Let's just go through. Jean-Jacques Ndala from DR Congo. Up until the disallowed goal, I thought he actually had a good game. A good game. I thought he actually had a good game. So this should be a ruling. VAR exists. If there's an attacking phase happening and you see like a push or something, let the play run. If no goal is scored, boom. If a goal is scored, you can radio to your VAR guy, say, yo, check. I thought there was a bit of a push. Do you think there was a push? And you have time to maybe look at the push. The moment you blow your whistle, once that whistle is blown, you restrict your ability to reach the correct decision. Technology exists to give you time to reach the correct decision. Before VAR, bro, you've got to make the right decision now, because if you don't blow, that's it, it's all done. So by him blowing so early on what was not a foul on Hakimi, he denied Senegal what was a very clear goal. It was a very clear goal. Now, I'm not going to say that he was paid, he was not paid. I'm not going to go into that, because I'm not. I felt that, look, I've seen referees that were paid. I'm old enough to remember the 2002 World Cup where that referee of South Korea against Spain was paid, and you can't convince me otherwise. So that is a clear theft. What's happened in South Korea in 2002 was a complete theft against Italy and against Spain. This referee is not theft. I just think that maybe the pressure got to him, because the Senegal had a goal that was unjustly disallowed. It was unjustly disallowed. And that's, for me, it's more a case of just bad refereeing, or maybe the pressure of the moment got to him. He saw, oh, it's a Moroccan guy that was fouled. Let me just blow quickly before you even have a chance just to relax, chill, let the attack happen. Senegal score. Okay. And here's the thing. And this is the real thing that people are missing. If, let's say, he let the play go through, 100%, the South African VAR ref will radio to Undala. Undala will be advised to look at the screen, and it will be rolled off. Whatever happened, the goal would have been rolled off. It would have been rolled off. So it would still have happened. So that's just one thing there. The penalty call. You see, I think it's soft. So my brother said that, look, it's a penalty. I said, look, technically it's a penalty. You can give it and you can't give it. If I was a referee, I don't give that penalty. Because see, for me, remember, referees, yes, you all have a blueprint, but the way you interpret the blueprint is different. There are harsh referees, there are lenient referees, and there's room for interpretation. See, there are stonewall fouls where that's objective. Then there are gray areas where it's dependent on the referee. For me, this is a penalty. For me to give a penalty, it has got to be a stonewall 100% penalty. If it's 50-50, I will always go onto the side of the defending team. Always. Because a penalty is such a large decision, you need to give me a supreme 100% foul for me to give it. So that's just my interpretation. But here's the thing. Diouf, by putting your hands on Brahim Diaz, you're putting yourself into trouble. I'm sorry, you are. So don't even put yourself in that gray area, because once you put yourself in that gray area, depending on the referee could give it. So to put it this way, I wouldn't give that foul, but a referee giving that foul, it's fair enough. So for me, for Diouf, you've put yourself in a situation where the wrong referee is going to give it. Doing that on Moroccan soil, it is what it is. And for Brahim Diaz, he did the right thing. Sell it. Completely sell it. Die if you have to. It's called GID. There is an AFCON on the line. So Brahim Diaz was well within his rights to sell the living heck out of Diouf just touching him. Because if I was Brahim Diaz, the moment I feel anything on me, I am diving, bombing up and everything, because it's for my country. It's for my country. So of course I would do it. So the walk-off. Now, this is where things get interesting right now, as a walk-off. So let me tell you my range of emotions. When that penalty was given, I was angry. And I would just said to myself, not like this. Not like this. I was incensed. Because this is a disgusting, filthy injustice. The Senegalese goal not being given, and then that soft penalty, this is a disgusting way to decide an AFCON. A disgusting way to decide an AFCON final. So at that moment, I was like, I'm with those Senegalese players. So for me, at that moment, I was with them. I was with the Senegalese players. I was with them. I was like, okay, I'm with you guys. Because I'm too angry. I'm too angry. In hindsight, it's the wrong thing to do. So this takes me back to, again, showing you my age. So Euro 2000 semi-final, Portugal against France. Final few minutes, because I think it was 1-1. I think it was 1-1. So final few minutes of extra time, ball comes in, and I think Javier handballs it, and he gets as a penalty given to France in the last few minutes. And Portugal are enraged. They're angry. They're pissed off. I think Figo got sent off. Loads of guys got sent off, but they had to play the penalty. There was angry bookings, but they had to play the penalty. So at the end of the day, no matter how incensed you are, you have to accept the referee's decision and complain afterwards. You simply have to. But at that moment, I'll be real with you. If I was one of those Senegalese players, I would have walked back into the dressing room. I would have. Which is why Sadio Mane is a better man than me. He is. Actually, I'm a very bad loser. Maybe it's me being young and competing with my older brothers and ancestors, and I hated always losing. I'm a horrendous loser. I am. Sadio Mane is a better man than me. Because what Sadio Mane did, that was a great thing to do. Because if Sadio Mane didn't do what he did, and the Senegalese players walked off and didn't return to the pitch, the referee is well within his rights to give a 3-0 victory to Morocco, and Morocco win the AFCON. Because Jean-Jacques Ndala was well within his right that there are no players here to play, Morocco, you win 3-0. So by Sadio Mane remaining there, staying there, ignoring El Hadji Diouf, who was advising him to go back into the locker room and telling the players, get back on this pitch, we lose like men. We lose like men, we lose like professionals, we hold our heads up high. And the real will come through. The real will come through. And the world will see what's really happened against us. But we're going to lose like men. So I respect Sadio Mane for what he did. I don't know whether I'll do that in that position. Because in that position, I would feel so enraged, so angry. I'll feel like this is such a ridiculous injustice. And also the stuff that happened even before the game, how they were messing up with the Senegalese preparations. I don't know whether I'd be able to get onto that pitch based on just how angry I would. Because I'm a very emotional guy when it comes to football. So when it comes to football, my emotions run very high. I don't know whether I would. So well done for Sadio Mane, who is a much better man than me, because I would not have been able to do that. So shout out to man. Guys, there's so much happening in this game, Jesus. He didn't do this on purpose. Let me explain. So, Brahim Diaz, I've known him for a while. He's a bit of a cheeky guy. And a bit of a guy that's got a little bit of a character. Brahim Diaz wanted to humiliate the Senegalese. And he wanted to cap off what was a great tournament for him on home soil with a panenka. Now, on one hand, there is, the keeper's going to dive. For sure, the keeper is going to dive. So that's one aspect of it. But another aspect is I wanted to embarrass them. But for Brahim Diaz, which is why I say for me, if I'm Moroccan, what Diaz did is unforgivable. It is unforgivable. This is the most important kick in Moroccan football history since 1976. And apparently, just a side note, I think in 1976 was the first time in a Euro Championship, a guy called Panenka did the panenka. I believe so, but I'm not sure. I need to fact check that. So, to be arrogant in that moment and then miss, you're a moron. So for me, I don't understand any Moroccan that be like, oh, we love you, hold your head up high, what you did was good. If I'm Moroccan, you're a moron. You're a complete moron. What she did, it's unforgivable. Why would you try a panenka in that moment? Because see, if Brahim Diaz went bottom left, bottom right, and he missed, it happens. It happens. Roberto Baggio was arguably the best player in the 94 World Cup next to Romario, who was having an outstanding tournament, and he pretty much single-handedly dragged Italy to that World Cup final. And when he missed that penalty by squaring it over the bar, people felt sorry for him. It happens. You see, if the ball goes over the bar, the keeper saves it, it happens. But when you try to be cheeky and you do a panenka and you think you're Zidane, but you're not Zidane, you're actually Lidan, and you make yourself look foolish, there can be no sympathy. So if I'm Moroccan, what Brahim Diaz did, I'm sorry, it is unforgivable. Because if I was a Moroccan, I don't, like literally, bro, we've not won AFCON since 1976. We've not felt this footballing joy since 1976. And you had the chance with just one penalty kick to put it away. And not only do you miss by doing a poorly taken panenka? Nah. You get zero sympathy from me. But people are missing a very important aspect. Because I think that it's insulting to Mendy by people saying that Diaz missed on purpose. It's insulting. Because you know what's so crazy? Mendy is not a good penalty saver. He's not. That's not his strength. Which is why it was shocking he saved a penalty in the AFCON that Senegal won against Egypt. Because I was like, oh, wow. But the fact that Mendy did not move is a huge move. Anybody that knows penalty kicks knows that 9 times out of 10, the keeper is going to dive. Which is why, like, I always say to guys that it's a psychological thing. If you're nervous, go down the middle. Now, when you go down the middle, okay, you can do it again. But when you're nervous, go down the middle. Because the keeper is always going to dive. So the fact that Mendy took just that split second, because you see, if Mendy fully committed to his side, you could argue that he scores. If just okay, because from where you're going, the best chance to get into those corners is you have to fully commit. You can't half step it. You've got to be like, okay, bottom right, I'm going to put all my weight into bottom right and hope that you get into the corner, which is where the player is aiming for. But the fact that he just said that split second of hesitation to be like, I'm going to move at the very last second, and he was able, that split second he just waited to now realize that, oh, no, don't dive. Because again, if you watch him closely, his body weight was going to his right. But in that split second, he was like, wait, hang on. And then he then saved it. You've got to give credit for Mendy for making a GOAT decision that helped Senegal win this improbable of AFCONs. So give Edouard Mendy credit, because now his stock as an African great keeper has gone way up right now. Guys, I mean, the videos I'm seeing of the ball boys is crazy. So this started with Stanley Nwabali when Nigeria were facing Morocco, where they took his towel away, which the keepers use to wipe the ball, or they wipe their face in case it's raining. And they stole Nwabali's thing, and he then took another towel, and he basically, middle finger up to the Moroccan fans who were trying to mess with him. And then they then did the same thing to, and again, please watch the video. Maybe I'll post it on Twitter. The reserve keeper for Senegal had to hold Mendy's towel, and several ball boys were trying to take the towel from him. So you have a situation where the reserve keeper is running along the sideline, being chased by Moroccan ball boys as they're trying to take away Mendy's towel. This is insanity. This is insanity. Now, here's the thing. I'll be real with you. It's called GID. But here's the thing. If you employ GID, you have to win. So the issue is that, when you employ GID tactics and you don't win, then you get to look worse. But if you employ GID tactics and you win, the game is the game. But the fact that you had a situation where you had the reserve keeper having to run away from ball boys because they were tampering with the Edouard Mendy's towel, that's some crazy tactics, bro. That's some crazy tactics. And my thing is, bro, I mean, what a story. The fact that, because obviously I already did it already. You could already watch it. I did like a anatomy of a goal, of actually like doing the how the goal was scored that you guys can watch. But the very fact that after everything that had happened, Senegal not only won the game, but they won the game with arguably one of the goals from the tournament. I still think El Kabi's is the best goal of scored, but you could argue this is the second best goal. If you remove context, it's still an amazing goal. If you add context, what a way to win it. But the very fact that Papa Gay scored a goal like that with the keeper of the tournament to win the AFCON upon everything that happened on the pitch, off the pitch, in the stands, just adds to the greatness of a final that will be remembered for all time. Like, this will be remembered for all time. This is an all-timer. I've never seen an AFCON final like this. I've never seen a final like this in terms of everything that happened. I've never seen a sports final like this. And the fact that it's ended like this is insanity. So, shouts to Senegal. And for me, I just feel the football gods, because how it was supposed to happen, because life is life. How it's supposed to happen is Brahim Diaz scores that penalty, and we all are angry at how that match was won. And we now start to talk about the refereeing decisions. And, oh, did Morocco steal the trophy? And Morocco be like, we don't give it up. It's called Gid. We got it done. So that's what I thought the story would be. But the way that this happened is, I'm sorry, this is football justice. The fact that you look at what Senegal had to go through, their preparations for this game. During the game, the referee calls, stuff happening within the crowd, and the fact that they were still able to win, and the manner in which they won upon everything they had to fight against. I mean, it's a footballing victory. It is a victory for football. And it is a footballing justice. A footballing injustice was stopped, and a footballing justice was achieved. So just fantastic. We were discussing this. Mane is top 3 of all time. Of African greats. So my thing is Eto's number 1. Eto's number 1. Copa del Rey, Real Mallorca. Treble Barcelona. Treble Inter Milan. Goal in the 06 final. Goal in the 09 UCL final. 2 crucial goals. All-time goal scorer in AFCON history, won back-to-back AFCONs in 2000 and in 2002. And, key thing, he's arguably a top 10 striker of all time. Not top 10 African striker of all time, he's arguably a top 10 striker of all time. Eto's number 1. Now, when you look at number 2, it's a debate between Mane and Yaya Toure. Where you'd lean towards Yaya Toure is he won AFCON with Ivory Coast. His fantastic club career, where you could make an argument that he single-handedly won 2 Premier Leagues for Man City, and there's never been a better performance by a midfielder than Yaya Toure. What Yaya Toure did as a midfielder and the kinds of goals that he scored was insanity. We've never seen a midfielder perform like that, specifically in a goal-scoring sense, the way that Yaya Toure did. He was insane. He was absolutely insane for Man City and what he did as a midfielder. So you could argue that when you look at what he did as a club player and winning AFCON is huge. So then you put Mane third. But the reason why you could argue for Mane second is Liverpool, when Liverpool won that league title, the goals that led to most wins were Mane's goals. Mane scored the most important key goals for Liverpool in that Premier League win. Won the Champions League, was key in that corner taken quickly against Barcelona. He's the guy that won the penalty against Tottenham in the final that Salah scored. But when you look at AFCON, and what's separating from Etso and Yaya Toure is, Cameroon won the AFCON before Etso. Ivory Coast had won the AFCON before Yaya Toure. Senegal have only won the AFCON twice. And in both instances, Sadio Mane has played a crucial role in both those wins. In the last AFCON, one of the players of the tournament scored the crucial winning penalty. At this AFCON, player of the tournament and scored the winning goal in the semi-final, an amazing winning goal, and was instrumental and launched the attack for the goal that Papagay scored in this crazy final. So I can make an argument that you could, if you take everything into account, and this is an African discussion, and as an African discussion, we lean more towards what you do on the continent of Africa and an AFCON, you can put Mane second. You've got to put Mane second. But in my view, what Mane has achieved for Senegal is greater than what Yaya Toure and Eto'o has achieved for Cameroon. Based on the fact that Senegal only have 2 AFCONs and he won both of them. It's why I always say what's asked to Maradona's GOAT conversation. Because Maradona, at the time, Maradona led Napoli to their only 2 league titles ever. I'm sorry, that's amazing. If you're instrumental in a club or a country's only 2 titles, that means more than winning for a club or country who won titles before you. So for Sadio Mane, I was key and instrumental in the only 2 AFCON victories for Senegal. That's a dub. But I think even beyond that, what Mane did when his teammates and his manager walked off and him remaining on the pitch and telling them that get back out here, we're going to lose like men, adds to his greatness. It adds to his greatness. Bare minimum, his top 3. But just think that act that he did, which I probably wouldn't do, and he's a better man than me. But what he showed there, the leadership he showed there, the maturity he showed there, bro, it just adds to his legendary status, and it just shows you the quality of the type of man that he is. Sadio Mane is an African great. And if you take everything into account, what he has achieved for Senegal, what he achieved in this final, what he did in this final, you could put him as the great. If you take everything into account. Because Eto'o didn't do what he did. Yeah, Eto'o didn't do what he did. Roger Miller didn't do what he did. Patrick Mboma didn't do what he did. Abu Trika didn't do what he did. So Mane is definitely one of the greats, man. One of the greats. But what a way to bow out. Because if this is his last AFCON, what a way to bow out. What a way to bow out. Just absolutely iconic, man. But overall, man, an amazing AFCON. Obviously, I may do like an AFCON review and everything, but great AFCON. But again, bro, that final, what an AFCON final, and what an epic way to end it. Morocco, very good host, but some crazy antics. But I just feel like if the right team won, the best team won, and footballing justice was achieved.